Oh, you know what? This is a great opportunity. Yes. So this is I call it my shame meal, but I order it's like a Memphis barbecue pizza from Domino's, and then I also get the Alfredo.
Oh my God.
Alfredo. And I'll put the Alfredo on the pizza.
I don't even know what to say to that.
And that's why it's a shame meal.
Hey guys, just a quick caveat here. We are basically going through demolition right now for our renovation process, so you may hear some background noise. We do apologize for the inconvenience. That should be done in a day or so. Thank you. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Shuyler Mal with the Nicks Boots from Start to Finish podcast. I'm joined here with Rebecca Burnham, operations manager. Rebecca, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Kind of a quick company update. There's been a lot going on, and so just touching base with you guys about what's happening around here. So I don't know, Rebecca, anything you want to talk about before we get into the list?
I feel like we say we have a lot going on all the time, but right now we actually have a lot going on. The remodel's probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
So we've started the demo phase of the remodel.
Yeah, a lot of these things are kind of interconnected. So just kind of on an operations like day-to-day standpoint, we started the renovation formally started on Monday, but Rebecca and her team and really everyone here had been doing a lot of work over the preceding 3 weeks to kind of prepare for that. So we had a dumpster. Well, we had a trash dumpster in here, and then we also had a metal dumpster. We had lots of things, lots of dump runs. We've added some new, some storage units temporarily to put stuff away in. Our showroom is just kind of a mess right now because we're using it for storage. Fortunately, it's pretty big in the first place, so it's still very functional. So definitely feel free to come on down, but a lot of overflow has kind of made it into that space.
Yep.
Any surprises or challenges that you kind of faced as you were getting ready for this?
I was surprised just by how much stuff we had back there.
Yeah.
Moving it all out was kind of crazy.
I mean, how long did it take? Like a week, you would say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the second time we've tried.
Yeah,
to clear out the back.
We did it. We should have done this. So there have been some people who have worked here in the past who, well, I wouldn't give it a clinical diagnosis. I would say we're very attached to things that we've had for a while that really probably did not have a lot of value or
use.
Were not really potentially usable. So chassis of old machines that we'd scavenged for parts, machines that we'd bought that were probably not going to be able to get working, without a massive expense in a repair. And some machines that we bought that frankly were not safe to use, so we never used them. I would say the world of shoe machine equipment purchasing is fraught when you're doing it secondhand, and sometimes you get some gems, and sometimes you get some things that are not super usable. So in the past, we would do a lot of lot buying, and so some store would be going out of business, some collar would be going out of business, and we would just kind of buy everything they had. And so we have stuff we still have not gotten through, which is probably on us. We should probably do that, but different lasts and even different dyes for different patterns. This is where the Pullman came from, in a kind of a happy, in a positive thing that came out of some of this stuff. The Pullman, we got those patterns through a cobbler shop out in Wyoming. But yeah, lots of junk.
Yeah, we did find 2 safes.
Right, that's what those are. Yeah,
there's stuff in there.
Uh-oh.
It rattles like coins.
Interesting. Maybe that'll be a social media event. We'll get some lockpicker in here or something.
Could be. We've had.
Where'd you find them?
We call it the Christmas tree room. That very back room that has a hole in the floor.
No. What?
So you have the loading dock, and then there's that little room attached.
Yeah,
it's the one across from that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, lots of nooks and crannies in this place, and we've cleared them all out. It's actually pretty impressive. So I'm very excited. So basically, the purpose of this renovation is to add more functional space to the production area in particular. And so we have a lot of like office space that wasn't really used as office and was kind of in a weird location in the building. And so we're basically pulling up the drop ceiling and attaching it. Our break room's in kind of a weird spot. It's very like disconnected and in the middle. Yeah. So that's going to be relocated. And then kind of the thing that forced our hand on this was adding additional bathroom capacity for code compliance down the line. We're well within compliance now, but
not if we kept growing.
About 10 more employees, we will not be. So adding more bathroom capacity, and then of course adding more electrical capacity, because we'd basically run out of space for 240 lines. So yeah, so exciting times. I hope it's a nice morale boost for everybody to have a little cleaner and open and more spacious environment to work in. And it is a pretty big investment for us. So fingers crossed that pays off. But yeah, in relation to that, that's I'll speak to some of our, and maybe Rebecca, you can speak to it too. I know we've had some service level issues with our kind of customer service response times now. Do you want to talk to that just a little bit? So that's kind of your department.
Part of it is just that we're still kind of a small team and a small company, so when we have to clean out back rooms, we're pulling customer service people to do that. So part of it is we've just had fewer people on those things since we've got so many other things that we have to get done due to renovation deadlines and other things. We've also just seen increased volume, so that's part of it. I know we're doing some promotions and things. People have questions, so they reach out. So yeah, our email response time has been a little bit longer. I think over the last couple of days, we've gotten it back down. I think there's only about 80 people who haven't heard from us within 24 hours. So now that that's all taken care of, everybody hopped back on, and we should be back to what our normal response times are.
It predated the renovation prep, I would say. Like it was, I think the primary thing is we're seeing about 30 to 50%, depending on whether it's email or phones, 30 to 50% increase in volume, and not necessarily like we're still growing, but not that same increase in sales. And so that kind of caught us off guard a little bit. And I think some of that is due to maybe some merchandising omissions that we have on the site. I think we can do a better job of kind of showing and sharing and making it easier for people to understand what they're buying. And also, I just think we've added a lot of options, and I don't know, we seem to have attracted a lot of people who like to make a lot of changes to their orders, which is great and which is fine. But that does kind of suck up a lot of contact volume. And so that's something we're kind of wrestling with. And I think we have a solution in place, but basically it's hiring more people. And that is, time and labor intensive. And when you train a new person, that takes away from the efforts of the person who's already training
them.
So I, on the contact front, I do think, so we've basically repurposed a number of, people from a few people from other departments like marketing and small goods and product development, and some of these people are came out of the customer service background, so they didn't need a lot of uptake. Even some of our kind of more senior people are hopping in, including myself, and so I do. It's. I just did the math. It looks like we should be caught up to well within 24 hours within a day, tomorrow, I would say.
Yep.
And so hopefully that reduces the need for people to call in, because I know that's not always the most convenient thing. We're working through it. So really appreciate your patience there, and apologize for the delays there. I know that can be frustrating. But yeah, to your point, Rebecca, we are still a pretty small company. We do have about 70 plus employees, but the vast majority of them are on the production floor making boots. And so we just don't have, we have a decent amount of flex, like we've shown. We've been able to move people into this position, but that obviously takes away from other things that could be getting done. So So anyway, sorry for the pain, the short-term pain here. I think we should be in pretty good shape. How are the interviews going for the new people?
They've been good. We've got a couple interviews done yesterday. There's a few more applicants, so I'm gonna check on those today. But I think we'll hire 1 or 2 more people, and then we should have, I don't want to say plenty of extra, but enough extra to cover vacations, absences. So we should be able to maintain those response times.
Yeah, and another thing we're doing is a kind of a reorganization within our customer service and kind of overall operations team. So like right now, there are a number of different tasks that the operations team does, right? Including emails, phone calls, but then also shipping, receiving, inventory,
Store coverage.
minding the store, return, like ready to ship, like uploading the products and taking pictures of them. And so I do think Rebecca and I have talked about this. We've reached a critical mass where I think we can have a bit of a split there and have like a customer facing department and then a more of a shipping, receiving, operations department. Just to get people more focused and specialized. Like, if you're doing the same or similar thing each day, I think you tend to get better at it. So that's another thing we've been kind of working through. So it's been a little bit of a storm in terms of a number of different factors that have affected us, and it could have been worse, but we do apologize for the hassle. So yeah, in a similar vein, we are launching an RMA portal, so Return Merchandise Authorization Portal, and so that is going to be basically mostly automated returns. And so when you get your boot, and if the size doesn't work, whatever, you can go onto our website and submit your information. We're working through some bugs right now, so it's not live, but right now it's not generating a return label like it should be, but we'll get that fixed. And so that would hopefully go live this month. Is that reasonable, you think?
Yeah. And weirdly, it is actually live. There's not really a way for me to turn it off. So if you have submitted a request, we will process those and get it taken care of. But if the options you were seeing don't really make sense, that's why.
Okay.
It's in progress, but
yeah. Okay. So anyway, so we're getting that going to hopefully make it more convenient and easier for you to kind of self-serve there if that's your inclination. And obviously B, like take some of the load off in terms of the contact management. So that's coming up. We did launch the ND4, probably our most polarizing boot I can imagine. I was a little obviously disappointed to see so much criticism around it. I did not really understand it. We put a ton of work into it. I think like it was definitely intended to be a P&W version of a sort of jungle boot, not like this perfect recreation. And so the fact that it didn't have some of the features of classic jungle boots in exchange for maybe some of the typical P&W boot features, I thought that would have been more okay than it was. But I think it's also a really interesting pattern. We spent a ton of time on it. It's, I think an interesting idea that I don't know if we positioned it maybe as well as we could have. It's exceptionally comfortable. Like we take like the really soft leather for the shaft and then kind of encase it in this like scaffold of more tough work leather to add some durability, but it's like just much more flexible in the shaft. Than you just don't have this like break-in period. So I don't know, hopefully some people who get it can kind of see that immediately and appreciate that. Obviously it's on our kind of Thermin last and it's super comfortable. But yeah, so that did okay. Obviously not quite as well as maybe like the ND1 or the ND3. It did do better than the ND2, so that was cool. But yeah, you don't always hit home runs in this business, and that was one of them. And I was surprised by it. Like sometimes we come out with a product, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you never like want to come out with something that you think isn't going to like kill it, but you can see it like being more of a niche thing, or maybe only appealing to a certain group or whatever. This one, I thought it would do better, but them's the breaks. So we're working hard to kind of get that momentum back. Like for example, right now we have the DomePro promotion going on. So our great partners over at Stitch Down have the Patina Thunderdome starting in October. And so we did some inventory of like our most patina friendly boots, boot leathers, and the ones we have in stock and can definitely get done in time. So that's going on right now. So if you are looking for a boot for that promotion, please do check them out. We'll get you something really nice, and it's gonna be a great boot, and you can get it in time for the contest. The Ranchman, or what do you call it, Kelsey?
The Ranchman.
The Ranchman. I call it the Ranchman.
That's what it's called.
The Ranchman, because it's for a rancher. Some people think it's like a welder jacket. We thought about that. Welder jackets tend to be less expensive and like not as nice, because obviously they're kind of getting beat to hell, by sparks and stuff. So we didn't know if that was like the right vibe to go with. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But so the Ranchman, it's definitely kind of Western inspired. It's got kind of that classic Western look. It's one of the, I'm not aware of a ton of rough out leather jackets out there. So that was kind of an interesting thing we went with. I think it's really nice. It's not lined, which would be my complaint with the Patriot, is like, it's so freaking heavy.
Yeah.
That while it's an amazing jacket, you can really, it's really just comfortable in kind of colder climates. And so this Ranchman, I think, is a lot more versatile for just different temperatures, because it's a little bit lighter. The cut is a little less generous, I would say. I think it's a little more form-fitting, which I personally prefer. I think it'll be a big success once that gets out there. I think people really love it.
It looks really great. We've also had quite a few people in office try it, and it looks good on everybody.
Yeah. It's a really good looking casual work jacket. I mean, you can do whatever you want in it, man. I mean, you can go to the bar, go to the ball game, go to the job site. It's super tough, and that rough out's nice. Doesn't show all the abrasions, and I think it's going to develop some really nice, waxiness to it as it ages too, and kind of the nap gets beaten down. So I think it's just a really cool idea. Okay, yeah. So those are kind of the major things going on right now. We've got some upcoming stuff. We've obviously going to go into September and things start picking up. So that's really our goal, is to get things solidified here, especially on the CS front, as we head into the busier part of the year. We're almost through it, Becca. We're almost through the dog days of summer.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Summer's always I don't know. It's not my favorite time of year here.
It's chaotic and it's hot.
Yeah, just in general, I don't really like summer.
Yeah.
It's chaotic.
I could go without it.
Well, for me, it's mostly because it's the slowest time of the year for us. Yeah. And I just you guys should have we should have an on-site therapist or something like that, just from June to August. But no, it's just it happens every year, and every year I get are we not cool anymore, man? But it's seasonal. And fortunately, we're still generally able to add a few bits of growth. But it's definitely the hardest time. We have to work the hardest. And that's why we do these collabs, it's how do you drive interest for, a time of the year when people are most often are not really thinking about buying boots, they're thinking about buying flip-flops or sandals and
going on vacation.
Yeah. That's why Amazon does Prime Day in July, because July is the slowest retail month of the year, typically. You'd think it might be January, but January you get a lot of activity from returns and people going back to the store, and so then maybe they buy some other things. But it's July. July is always just crickets, and so we lived in Seattle, know quite a few Amazon people, and that's why they did it. It was really smart. We're almost through it, guys. We're almost through it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign off for the day. Really appreciate your time. Hope you had a decent time listening to us, and it was informative, and that you have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you in a week, and have a good one. Thanks for listening. Bye.